was the last time I made one of these? July? My hair was red, I think. I think that was the last time I made one of these. Tomorrow's the first day of October. So it's been a little bit. New setting. I don't live at home. I live here now. This is my room / the living room. Baxter, come here. This is the dog. Kyla's dog. I live with Kyla. We love Baxter, even though he's a little sock goblin. Aren't you a little sock goblin? With a licking problem. He doesn't stop, ever. He doesn't stop. Broski. Calm your tush. Anyways, felt like I should make another one of these because I just saw on Facebook somebody posted, your childhood wasn't lit if you don't have any videos up on YouTube. There are so many. Okay, Baxter, you gotta get down or move over. Lay in my lap. Lay down. Thank you. There are so many. There's a lot that aren't even posted or ones that are privated. Because there's just child me thought I was going to be this huge YouTube vlogger. I'm not. I'm 20 years old now. I'm about to be 21 in 34 days? I have a countdown on my calendar. I actually have to update it because I updated it yesterday and have not updated it yet today. I got a new job. And I love it. I don't do restaurants anymore. I don't work in a restaurant anymore. God, this is so god-awful cringy. I work at a child care center. I take care of 1 to 2 year olds. I'm usually in the 1-year-old room to start off with, and then I get the 2-year-olds at the end of the day. We kind of combine classes. Occasionally, I'll be in the 2-year-old room. So that's fun. I absolutely love it. Where did I go? Oh. Anyways, don't mind me looking for things. I'm also enrolled in college to get my child development degree because I want to end up kindergarten teacher. I want to start with that and then eventually work my way to getting a bachelor's in my child development so I can go into social work. But I'm starting off just like getting the associates, and going and working as a kindergarten teacher because I love children. And I absolutely love this job. I wish it paid more. I really wish it paid more because I don't want to leave this job like ever. But for $10.10 an hour, I can't live off that for the rest of my life. That's good for now. But for the rest of my life, no. Don't mind my hair being a mess also, by the way. I just took a shower, so it's still like a little wet in some places. Like the back of my head's still kind of wet. And it's also not evenly dyed because of so I had you don't remember because I didn't post during that. So I had like green in the front and on the underside where it's like, you can see where it's like this lighter like teal blue color on the underside, and like even the pink is brighter in like the front and underside. Cause I had like neon green there, and then the rest was black. So like this and like over here aren't as vibrant as this. Like this is like straight up green, but that's okay because I think it's cute and I like it anyways. And I'm gonna leave it because I don't want to bleach my hair again. Not for as long as I can prevent it, because I ended up, my hair was like down to here-ish at the longest bits, really. So really, honestly, probably closer to my collarbone, because it was like dead because I kept dyeing it and bleaching it and then repetitively bleaching it in between every time I dye my hair, which is awful. And I'm trying not to do that, because when I wasn't doing that, my hair was like, it had gotten down to probably about here, because that was the first time I had done the green and the black, because I had done the black and the blue, and it was here, and then I kind of grew out to here, and the only thing I bleached was where it was blue, and I turned that green, and it kind of like grew down to here. From there, I started bleaching it again, because I had left it like that for like a couple months, and like my hair was healthy, it was great. And then I started bleaching it again, because I wanted to go pastel, like bright colors again for the summer, which is fine, because I chopped it to like my shoulders, because I did like a very similar split dye to this. It was more pastel. The blue was this blue, but the pink was like a light pastel pink. And I chopped it to my shoulders, and it kind of grew, and it was like healthy, and it was good, and I liked it, and I kept that for a couple months too. And then I did the purple and green, and because I just let it fade naturally, and I just threw the purple where things, like it mixed nicely, because I followed the color wheel. However, after that, I bleached it again, because I wanted to go red all over, and it was going to be uneven because I had the split dye, which I'm doing to myself again. But that's okay, because I'm going to leave the split dye. But I went red all over, and that's where my hair started to dye again. So then I let the red fade. I was blonde for a minute before I did the black and the green, because I was like, I'm just going to leave this for a couple months like I did last time, and then I couldn't commit to it. I didn't like it. Like, I loved it when I did it the first time, but the second time, I think it's because I started with the black and the green, because the first time I started with the black and the blue. I'm just going on a rant about my hair, I'm sorry. But the first time I started with the black and the blue, and you could really only see the blue in the front, because the blue kind of blended into the black in the back. That was a mouthful, tongue twister there. So like, I wasn't super worried about it, and I had black extensions that I wore to work anyways. So like, it wasn't really bothering me, because the blue was kind of a darker blue. So for it to blend was okay. And I had left that for a month. So then when I went to go do the green, the black hair dye wasn't like bleeding anymore. And I think that's what my problem was this last time, was that the black hair dye was still so fresh that it was still bleeding into the green. And I was turning the green this like bluish green color. I had also used a blue black instead of a natural black this time. I also used a different brand. So there was a lot of things that factored into it that just made me not like it this time, because it didn't turn out the way it did the first time. And I was sad, because I liked it the first time, and I didn't like it the second time. And I tried to like re-bleach and do the green again, just to fix that, and I couldn't, it wasn't working out. It was immediately went back to, so yeah, I ended up bleaching my whole head to get the black out and the green out so I could do this. But it wasn't out, because I wanted to do what I did with the pastel pink, but I couldn't get it light enough because of the black to do pastel pink. The pastel pink would only show up in like these front bits, and I didn't want to do that. So I ended up with this, and the black wasn't quite light enough for the blue to like me very much on this side, but like, it's whatever, it looks cute and I like it, so we're gonna deal with it. It's fine. It's okay. Worst case scenario, I bleach bath it. I won't straight bleach it, I will bleach bath it if it really bothers me that much, as it like actually starts fading, because I've only washed my hair once since I dyed it, and I dyed it like 2 weeks ago, because it was a Friday, because I didn't have work. So 2 weeks ago, yesterday was exactly 2 weeks since I had dyed my hair, and I hadn't washed it once. My hair was so gross and greasy, but I was so scared of washing it, because I didn't want it to like bleed and turn purple. The only reason it looks kind of purple in the front is because I have pink pieces over on this side, because my hair doesn't part straight, ever. is what it is. I don't care. But it didn't bleed, it didn't turn purple. I was scared of the pink turning these lighter blue bits purple, and it didn't, so it's okay. We're okay. But that's also because I use Pulp Riot, and Pulp Riot is meant to do multiple colors at once without bleeding into each other. So, which is why I'm mad I didn't use Pulp Riot Black when I did the black. This is me just ranting about my hair. I'm sorry. We're gonna stop talking about that now. But I chopped it because it was dead, because I kept bleaching it and I was trying to get the black out. And originally I was just gonna cut it to, you know, where the longest pieces are here, so I could have like that like short like bob type thing again. But then I was like, what if I do layers? So now I have layers. I gave myself some layers. They're definitely probably not even, honestly, but I don't care because it looks cute. Give it a day, like tomorrow my hair will look better. Like I have to sleep in it first before it. But like it looks cute when I pull my hair half up, you know, because you get to see the lighter blue bits. And I need to stop talking about my hair. The point was to excuse the fact that my hair is kind of a mess right now because it was wet and then I was laying down, so it's kind of messy, and I'm not going to brush it because I have curly hair and brushing it dry is never a good thing. I'll like finger comb through it, and even that I don't really want to do too much. Anyways, the last time I made a video was in July, I believe. I believe it was July. By the end of July, I was blonde, because the red had faded out. It had to have either been the end of June or beginning of July, because I remember I had red hair, I think. It had to be, because it was after the green and purple split, and I did red right after that. So, I don't know. I'll find out when I go to post this. But, so, end of July, I moved in here. I've been living here since, so I haven't made any videos since then, because I've been living here, and I have a roommate, my best friend. Yeah. So, let's do some life updates. I don't know if I talked about him in the last video. I don't know because I don't remember when I made it. I don't remember if it was the beginning of July or the end of June, because I don't know the exact timeline of when I dyed my hair. Except obviously I remember I dyed my hair exactly 2 weeks ago, but I couldn't tell you what the date is. Like I couldn't tell you what the date was 2 weeks ago, and I can't even look at my calendar because I already changed my calendar to October. But I moved here at the end of July. I already talked about that. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about a man. We're talking about a man. My man. I have a boyfriend now. So yeah, I met him on the 4th of July. We had matched on Tinder previously. Met him on Tinder. Should start with that. Met this guy on Tinder. We had matched in June, like end of June-ish, you know, and like we had gone back and forth a little bit, but like it wasn't like conversations, and there was like days to like a week in between like us going back and forth, like our responses and stuff, until the 4th of July. 4th of July hit, and we were going back and forth, but then we just kept going back and forth. Like it was like within minutes we were going back and forth, and neither one of us had plans. Because originally I did have plans for the 4th of July. I was going to go and hang out with some friends at see the fireworks, and those plans fell through. So I ended up not having anything going on, and I met him. Didn't meet him. Anyways, I was talking to him. We were going back and forth because like it was getting close to like it was starting to hit sundown. Like it was starting to be about the time people would start to go to fireworks, you know. and neither one of us had plans. We were like, he asked me, he goes, I remember, what did he say? He goes, not to be too forward or anything, but if you would want to, we could definitely go see the fireworks together. You know? Something along those lines. I remember he said not to be too forward or anything. And then it was some sort of invitation to, like, go do something. And I was like, yes, absolutely, yes. And so we did. And he didn't have a car at the time, so I had to go and pick him up. And I was fine with that. Because I don't care. I wanted to get out of the house. I wanted to go. And he seemed nice. I had sent him dinner. I sent him this question, and it was a 2-part question. First part was, what is your favorite dinosaur, and why? And the, I guess, 3-part question. But then the other question was, I don't know if anybody is watching this at all, let alone has seen the TikTok of the girl that was like, ask the people you match with on dating apps what they would do, or like when you go out to a first date with somebody, ask them what they would do if you went out to dinner and glass broke by your foot. Because like depending on their type of response, that's gonna tell you what kind of person they are. And so I asked him that too. And I don't remember what he said for the dinosaur. I don't remember what he said for the dinosaur, but I do know that his response to the broken glass question, I was like, absolutely, I like you. That's a good response. Because most of the people that I've been with, because the situation was, you know, we're out to dinner, we're like at a restaurant, most of the people that I'd asked that question to had been like, oh, I'd get a waiter, I'd ask somebody to come like with like a broom and clean it up. This man said, I would pick you up and carry you and make sure you're okay, and then clean it up myself. I was like, perfect response. Best response I've gotten so far. And then we went to go see the fireworks, and he didn't get mad at me for getting distracted mid-sentence and being like, ducks, because I saw ducks. There were ducks in the river, and I got distracted. Like, I was mid-sentence, and I was like, ducks. And we walked over and we went and saw the ducks. So, first date, great. We also got a little lost. But I'm not going to talk about that part. we did, in fact, get a little lost. After the fireworks, we went and we were gonna go. He had his own fireworks that he wanted to blow up, and we were gonna go and try to find somewhere to do that. And we got lost trying to find somewhere. We could not figure out where we were. And then the next day, like literally the very next day, he was like, "You want to hang out again?" And I was like, "Yes." And then we drove aimlessly for 6 hours, mid-rainstorm, absolutely downpouring, like couldn't see anything. We had to pull over several times into gas stations just because we couldn't see the road. And we drove for like 6 hours straight. It got to the point where we were circling, because we had met up at like 11:30 at night. And so like 6.5 hours, because by the time we got back, it was like 6 a.m. By the time I got home, it was like 6:05 or whatever. So it was like almost 6 a.m. And we by the end of the night, or I guess early morning, by the time we decided to go back, we had been, we had circled the same 2 like towns, and we kept ending up at like driving past the same 7-Eleven gas station like 4 different times, and that's when we were like, we need to go home, because clearly we are too tired, because we keep ending up back here taking different roads and still ending up at the exact same spot. Like, we are stuck here. We need to get out. We need to go home. But it was fun. It was a lot of fun. That was the second day, like July 5th. And from there, we started hanging out a lot more. He was in college. He was staying in a dorm. He's not anymore. He lives in a house. He's taking a gap year because he's working like 12 to 16-hour shifts right now, so he like can't do school at the same time. But we were hanging out all the time. I was like going over to his dorm and like just hanging out, watching movies, wandering, like we driving aimlessly. We walked to the gas station that's down the road from the dorms and just kind of like, we were just hanging out. We were having fun. It was fun. Beginning of August comes around and I invite him to go with me to a band gig, because as I mentioned before, I do remember I mentioned this before, I've been going to all these band gigs, and I invited him to go with me to one because it was in Ohio and I didn't want to drive by myself. Granted, it was a 3-hour drive and I very easily could have driven that by myself. That's fine. I drove to Detroit, like that's a good, decent, like 2.5 hours depending on traffic, especially depending on construction and the time of year and whatever. So like I've done that by myself multiple times. Usually it's driving back, but like, because usually I'm dropping somebody off and I'm coming back by myself. Regardless, like I've done that before, so that was like an extra hour. And like I very easily could have done that, but I didn't want to because I had this new person that had wanted to go to these band gigs because I'd mentioned them before and he'd wanted to go and he was like, those sound cool, like I kind of want to go to those. And I was like, well, this one's in Ohio. But we went, and that was the day that he became my boyfriend. We had gotten to the gig, and in the parking lot of the gig, before we could even get out of the car, he would not let me get out of the car yet. That was when he asked me to be his girlfriend, and I was like, yes. So then I was like, does this mean I have to like introduce you now to all these guys as my boyfriend? Like these guys who I've been going to band gigs with and have seen since February. Like I've been hanging out with these people for months. I gotta bring you in here now and be like, boyfriend. And they'd be like, since when? And I gotta be like, since like 10 minutes ago. And so I did introduce him as my boyfriend there. And it was a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun at that gig. It was very eventful. A lot of things were going on. There was so much going on, but it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. And then after that, he was staying here for a little bit between having to leave his dorm because he was taking a gap year and trying to get into his own place. Because he lives in a house now with a handful of his coworkers. So they're all living there. So like he was staying here for a little while, so like all of the pictures I have of him, he's asleep because he doesn't take pictures with me, which is sad because I love taking pictures with people. I love it, love it, love it, love it. I love having pictures to post to me, like especially on people's birthdays. I love having pictures with my friends and like obviously the people that I date, so I can like post things and be like happy birthday and then spam a bunch of pictures of them, because I do that to like May and I do that to Kyla, I do that to Kennedy, like I do that to my friends and I love them. I love doing that. And I think that's why he doesn't want to take pictures, because he knows that I will post a bunch of them on my Snapchat story on his birthday. He doesn't have to worry about it because his birthday is in June, and I'm like, you don't have to worry about it until June. Like, you don't have to worry about it for another 9 months, bro. But whatever, I digress. But yeah, he's cute. I love him. He hasn't met any of my family yet. I haven't met any of his family. I've met a handful of his friends, mostly the ones that he lived with in his dorm, for the most part. I've met one of his roommates the other night. Like, granted, he's not from Michigan. He came to Michigan for college, so, like, he doesn't have a lot of, like, oh, I went to high school with these people, these are my best friends, we've known each other for years. Like, it's, like, oh, we had this couple classes together, or, oh, I work with him right now. Like, those are the kinds of friends he has right now. So it's not like when he meets my friends, I'm like, there's my best friends. I've known this one since we were in elementary school, and this one since we were juniors in high school, and we're best friends. Like, it's not like that. And it's not even like, oh, Kennedy, who I've known for 2 years now. Dang, it's been 2 years. Who I've known for 2 years now. Like, it would be like introducing him to my band friends, because I've only known them for a few months. I've only been hanging out with them since February. It's like, but he's met a large majority of my friends compared to the friends that I've met of his. Because he's met May and Kyla. Obviously, he's met Kyla because he was staying here, and Kyla, this is Kyla's apartment. But he's met May once. He met May once. May and Kyla went with me to meet him when he was getting out of work. We kind of hung out in the dorm parking lot for some reason instead of just actually going and doing something. I don't know. May doesn't live here anymore, by the way. That's another reason why he's only met me once. May moved out of state for work. So work transferred her. But so he's met Kyla and May one time, and then he met like the band friends. So like those are the people that he's met of my friends. It's like he hasn't met like Kennedy. Dang, I really don't have a lot of friends. He just hasn't really met Kennedy. He's met Natalie. Natalie came over and we hung out for a little while. He ended up being the one that had to drive Natalie home because I was like so tired. I was like, you gotta drive, dude. I can't drive. You need to drive. When Natalie was in town. But like, yeah, so like he hasn't met any of my family. I haven't met any of his. We've met like some of each other's friends. But like we've only been dating for a month, about to be 2 on Thursday. Thursday's the 5th? Yeah, because Friday's the 6th. I get paid on the 6th, and I have to pay Kylo rent on the 6th because I cannot afford it tomorrow because I don't get paid till Friday. Which I should probably text her and just remind her that I'm paying her on Friday and not tomorrow. Because I've already told her that. But there's so much going on with both of us that I feel like she might need the reminder because rent is due tomorrow and I cannot pay her till Friday because I don't pay the rent directly, I just pay her. Anyways. Yeah. So there's my love life update and my moving situation update. I should probably go check the mail sometime today to see if I got my food stamps. So I'm supposed to find out within 30 days of your application. And your card will be distributed on like the same day of the month as whatever. And yesterday would have been the 30 days. So I should probably check the mail sometime soon-ish. I don't know when we even get mail here, so I couldn't really tell you. but I should check the mail soon, relatively, because I went through the whole like interview process for it, and giving them all the extra information that they asked for, whatever they needed, like my pay stubs and whatever, and like how many hours I average a week and all that kind of stuff. So, and I haven't heard back from them since. So I believe that's a good thing, because I feel like if they were gonna deny my application, they would call, But if they approved it, I guess I'd have to go. I don't know. I guess I would have to go figure that out. I'd have to look. It is a weekend, so maybe if I do get a call telling me whether I'm approved or denied, they might call on Monday. I just hope they don't call while I'm at work or asleep, because they keep doing that. They'll either call me at 8 o'clock in the morning, and I don't get up until 9:30, 10, so I miss the call, or they'll call me at work, because they'll call me at 1:30, 1:30, and I'm like, I am working right now, call me before noon, I go into work typically at noon, except for on Fridays when I go in at 7:30, by the time I get out of work, their office is closed, so I can never call them back after work, and I can't call them during work. It's just a mess. So then I have to call them before work the very next day and hope that there's not 76 people in line waiting to speak with a person, a specialist or whatever, because that's what happened the last time I called, because they had a question about my pay stubs. They were just asking my rate of pay, not my rate of pay, whether I get paid weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, that kind of thing, and because it didn't say on my pay stub, which I've never known. Does a pay stub normally say that? Because I feel like they don't. I feel like I've never seen any of my pay stubs say how often I get paid. I guess if I had multiple pay stubs, that would give them the idea of how often I get paid. But I just started this job, that was my first paycheck. My second paycheck is the one I'm getting on Friday. Because it's bi-weekly. So I started there the day after Labor Day. And I started at the very beginning of the pay period. So everybody was getting paid that Friday except for me, because I had just started that week. So then I had to go I didn't get paid till the 22nd, basically. So there was I worked 3 weeks before getting paid, versus working 2 weeks like everybody else, because I started at the beginning of their pay period, rather than starting in the middle. But yeah, so they had called me at 8 o'clock the morning before, and I didn't even see that I had a missed call from them, until I had already, because I had gotten up. I slept in that day too, so that was partially on me. I didn't get up until I absolutely had to get ready and go to work. So then I had to call them back the next morning, and I called them when I woke up at 9:30 a.m., and there was 76 people, I think it said, in line waiting to speak with a specialist. And when I tell you, they did not call me back until 11:40, when I was pulling into work, because I had to be into work at noon. Because you can either just sit there and listen to the little waiting music, or you can have them save your place in line and call you back. And I just had them call me back, so it's that's a lot of people in the waiting list. That's a long line. I don't want to sit here and listen to that, because I don't know how long that's gonna take. So I just had them call. So I had to save my place and call me back, and they called me back as I was pulling into work. So I was like scrambling to like park and grab my phone before I missed it, and just hope that it didn't take too long because I had to get inside and go and clock into work soon. Granted, I do get to work early, so I had a little bit of time, but it was still stressful, you know. So hopefully I get those food stamps though, because I am making $10 an hour and I'm living here and paying rent. Not having to worry about food too much would be nice. That would be great. I would love that. I lost what I was gonna say after that. Dang, I've been talking for half an hour? 35 minutes? 36 minutes. I think a majority of that was about my hair and about my boyfriend. And now food stamps. But yeah, I'm starting school. I'm on the cheer team too. There's that. I did not mention that. I'm on the cheer team. And I think this Tuesday we're getting fitted for our uniforms. My college doesn't have a football team, so we're only cheering for like basketball. So we have like time before basketball season starts to like get English, to get prepared and like get ready for basketball season and get ready to like actually be cheering. We're technically a club because like we don't have a football team and we don't do like stunting or anything as of right now, at least. We just do like sideline cheering, but we're technically a club because we're not like a sport within the college, if that makes sense. Like we're student started, like we went and we found somebody to be our cheer coach, and so yeah. But it's a lot of fun. I like the girls on my cheer team. They're all pretty nice. They're all funny. There's always something going on. Somebody's making some sort of joke. Like there's always something. Always something. There was a spider, like a little tiny spider, like maybe like that big, hanging from like a spider web in the middle of the room when we were lining up to do one of our cheers, and they're like, oh my god, there's a spider, and they're all like, where? And then I turn around and go, oh, I see it, and I just grabbed it, and one of the girls stood there, and she just goes, and I'm standing there, I'm like, it's not that big of a deal, and it's kind of like, I didn't kill it, it was still walking around on my finger. I was like, somebody open a window, and I flung it off my finger, and it was funny. They're standing there, she just had her mouth hanging open. It was like, close your mouth, you're gonna start drooling. And so we have the cheer coach and the assistant cheer coach, and the assistant coach goes, you grew up with a brother, didn't you? I was like, I did, little brother. She was like, yeah, so you're used to like weird, strange, gross smells. And I'm like, oh, absolutely. And spiders. I grew up in a basement. Like my bedroom was in the basement. Like spiders were everywhere. They were in my shower like all the time. They loved my shower. Every time I took a shower, there was a spider. And I'd be like, oh, you better get out before you go down the drain. Look at Baxter. Baxter, you pretty boy. I love this dog. He's so cute. I don't like little dogs, but I love this dog. Okay. I'm sorry, I should not have called you over here. You were gonna start licking. I should have known better. I'm sorry. Okay. Goodness. I'll keep petting you, okay? He's dramatic. And he's a little sock thief. I call him a sock goblin because I would call him a sock king, but he's tiny, so he's a little sock goblin. Little sock goblin. Little sock goblin. Oh, thanks. Can you lay down? Thank you. But yeah. So there's my last couple months in 40 minutes. I really shouldn't keep talking. I was gonna say I don't know what else to talk about, but I really shouldn't talk about anything else. I should end it now, because that's a lot. That is a long video that's gonna take a long time to upload. So yeah. That's my life right now. I love my job. I love these little kids. They're so cute. Just wish it paid more so I could afford to live. But, oh well. That's what I'm going to school for, is to get a job that pays better, doing the same thing, just with slightly older kids. I'd be okay if I got put in a preschool room, because that's still, like, older than what I'm doing right now. Like, they can still talk a little bit better than a 1-year-old who, I swear, only knows the word no. No, mind, book, duck, and ball. I swear that's like the only 5 words he knows. And mama and dada. He likes to point at me and go, dada? And I'm like, I am not a man. And I'm sure I do not look like your father. I got bright hair. I don't think your father has bright hair. But stop, dude. Not while I'm recording. Go do that somewhere else. But I'd be okay with being put in a preschool room. I just prefer the kindergarten room if I can get into kindergarten. I don't start my classes until January though. So I got a couple months. November, December, January. I got 3 months before I start classes. And then I start classes and hopefully as soon as possible get my associates and can go and work in a school, like an actual school, because we do have a kindergarten and preschool room where I work now, but it's not an actual school. So hopefully I can get into an actual school and get into a kindergarten room, preferably. And make more money than I'm making right now. Because there are girls who have worked where I'm working right now for years, and if they didn't have like their family, like their husbands or whatever, that were also working and making money, they'd be in the situation I'm in right now, sleeping on a futon in the living room of a 1-bedroom apartment because I can't afford to rent by myself. You know? But that's okay, because they love their jobs, and they do have the ability to have somewhere to live, you know? Like, they get all their bills paid, like, they're okay, they're doing okay. I don't have a husband who makes enough money to buy a house, so I'm on my own here. One day, though, I do have a boyfriend. He doesn't make that much money, but he is working his way up there. Fast. Scary fast. Like, dude started this job, like, just before I started mine. Like, maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks before I started mine. And bro's already gotten himself into a supervisor position. Like, hold your horses there, which makes me feel bad, personally, that he is working his way up, and he's able to save all this money that he can, and I am paycheck to paycheck. And there's no way for me to work up right now. Like, there is no working up at my job. Like, you can move rooms, but I can't get the higher paying rooms, like the kindergarten and preschool room, without my college degree, which I don't have yet. I haven't even started my classes yet. But even then, they're not getting paid too much. So I don't know. But even with what he's going to school for, he will always be making more money than me. Like, I'm going to be a teacher, maybe social worker if I decide to go back and get my bachelor's, but I might not. I might stick with being a kindergarten teacher, you know? Or I might work and get a degree in education and move up grade levels, but I really wouldn't want to go past, like, middle school, if that, you know? Like, I really wouldn't want to go past, like, 7th, 8th grade. Because I don't want to work with high schoolers. High schoolers are mean. I would know. I was a high schooler. High schoolers are mean. My brother's a high schooler. He's mean. High schoolers are mean to me now. Imagine me slightly older and trying to teach them. I might substitute teach. I don't know how to get into that yet. I haven't looked into it, but that's an idea that just popped into my head. I might look into subbing, and I might substitute teach for, like, high school. But I couldn't put up with high schoolers every single day. I'd prefer to stay in, like, elementary. If I did go and get, like, a degree in education and move up, I wouldn't know what class I'd want to teach, though. Which is part of why I'd want to stay in, like, elementary, because elementary teachers, you tend to have the same one teacher the majority of the day, and then you have your specials classes, which are, like, the equivalent of, like, your electives in middle and high school. And then, depending on the grade, you might have a switch teacher where you switch classrooms for just one subject. But I think I'd want to stay around, like, kindergarten, if I did decide to move up and get an educational degree in whatever subject, I guess. Not English. Definitely not English. I will never teach English. I nearly failed most of my English classes. I might do math. I could do math, like science. Ooh, I could really do science. I love science. Like, I could move up that way and teach, like, maybe, like, 2nd, 3rd grade level, you know, type stuff. Maybe even, like, 4th grade, even. But, or I could be a specials. I could do something for, like, the specials. I could do, like, the arts. I don't know. Honestly, I think I'd prefer to just stay in the kindergarten. Maybe, like, 1st grade. If I decided to move up eventually. But I kind of want to just stick with kindergarten. Like, just teaching them basics, you know? Giving those kids some spelling words. How do you spell who? Hua? What does that spell, Anaya? Hua? No. I will never forget that. That's my favorite thing ever. Or when I was like helping my brother with spelling words, and he couldn't spell washer, and we would like make fun of him for it. We'd throw in random letters because we don't know where he was getting letters from. He would just pull out random letters, and we were like, what? Where did you get that from? So for a long time, a running joke would to be like, washer, X, W, like, stupid stuff. Y, Z, like, we made fun of him for it a lot. Not too much. We weren't bullying him, but it was a running joke that he couldn't spell washer. I don't know why washer was the word specifically, because there was a lot of words that he did that with, where he would just pull in a random letter that definitely was not in the word, and we don't know how he got it, but whatever. Yeah. One day I'll be a kindergarten teacher. Hopefully sooner rather than later. And as much as I love this job, depending on how long I stay with it, how long, like I want to stay with it. Like I don't want to leave this job. I love this job. But depending on, financial reasons, if I have to leave the job for something that's going to give me, the same or better hours for higher pay, doing the same thing. I don't know. We'll find out when the time comes. I do plan to stay with this job as long as I possibly can, though, because I do love these kids so much. I adore them. They're so cute. They're so sweet. Yeah. I'm a little sad that I did just start this job, though, when I did, because a lot of these kids have birthdays coming up, so they're going to be moving up to the 2-year-old room, which means we're going to be losing kids in, the next, coming months. I think this October, no, not October, I think it was December, is one of the kids' birthdays, and then, then she's going to move up, and then, I know January has a birthday, and then March has a birthday. I think March has 2 birthdays, actually. So, because you're going to start moving up to the 2-year-old room. So we're going to be, missing kids. I don't know. Makes me a little sad, because I am attached to those kids now. I love them. I love going into work and seeing them every day. It's so much fun. I am attached to them. But they will start moving up, and soon, next few months, obviously that's months, now, oh, this kid's moving up tomorrow, it's still a couple months away, but it makes me wish I was at this job, I found this job earlier, and I had been here longer. We'll see. Either way, I need to end this video because I've been talking for almost an hour. And the lighting has even changed. Excuse me, Mr. Sun. Yeah, I'm gonna stop talking now. Love yourselves. Here's a Baxter.